Hi there, this is Ranjit, and in this video we'll be doing the review for the Nubia Z11 Mini S. Yes, it's a long name, and this is not the Nubia Z11 Mini. This is the S version that comes with the Snapdragon 625 chipset, and this is selling in India via Amazon India for rupees 17,000. And I've been testing this device for the last 3 weeks. During the first 7 or 8 days, I used it with the launch Jio SIM, and later on with the Airtel 4G SIM. And I'll share my experience, the pros and cons in this video. But before I do that, here is a general overview. The Nubia Z11 Mini S is powered by the Snapdragon 625 chipset. It has a 5.2-inch 1080p screen. It comes with 4GB of RAM and 64GB of internal storage. And I'll divide this review between the pros and cons. First, let's start with the pros, what I liked. And again, I have already posted my unboxing video for this device. So if you want to get a general overview, you can check out my unboxing video. Link for that will be there in the YouTube show notes. So let's start with the pros and cons. And the first thing that I really liked about this device is the screen quality. It is having a 5.2-inch screen. It's a 1080p screen. It's not a quad HD screen, but the screen quality is actually very good on this one. So no problems regarding the screen quality, and it has the auto brightness sensor also, and that also works actually very well. In fact, in outdoor lighting conditions, that's in direct sunlight also, the screen is sort of visible. Now, moving to the fingerprint scanner. The fingerprint scanner, as you can see, is here on the back on this one, and I have to say the fingerprint scanner is actually very good. For example, the moment you tap on it, as you can see, I'm going to tap, it unlocks the device. So the fingerprint scanner was very responsive and it worked almost every time. So no problems regarding the fingerprint scanner. Now moving to the build quality. Again, I have to say the build quality of this phone is also actually very good. It feels actually very much premium. In fact, I also had the Moto G5 Plus, which is also very similar in pricing to this one. But in terms of build quality, if I have to pick up one, definitely the Nubia feels a lot more premium to hold. Now moving to the cellular call quality, as I've mentioned, I tested this with the launch Jio and with Airtel 4G, and yes, it does support VoLTE out of the box, so you don't have to worry. And the cellular call quality was also actually very good. The earpiece is loud and clear. But I'll talk about the speakers in the con. The general, if you just take the calls like this, it's fine, but the speaker phone is sort of weak. Now moving to the battery life, it has a sealed battery. That's a 3000 milliamp hour battery, and I have to say, thanks to the Snapdragon 625 chipset, the battery life on this one is actually very good. With my normal usage, it was lasting me anywhere around 1 to 1.5 days with my normal usage, and as you can see, in terms of screen on time, I was getting a screen on time between 5 to 6 hours. So in terms of battery life, the battery life on this phone is also actually very good. It can easily last for about 24 hours easily, and I was able to get it about 1.5 days of battery life. Now moving to the charger, the supplied charger is actually not a fast charger, and the smartphone does not support fast charging. I tried to charging it with a couple of fast charger, but the maximum current that it was pulling was at 5 volts at 2 amps. So from 15% to 100%, it took me around 1 hour 40 minutes to charge this phone. So it can fully charge slightly less in about 2 hours. So fast charger is not supplied, but it charges at 5 volts at 2 amps. Now another thing that I really liked on this phone is the output that you get via the headphone jack. The sound output that I was getting from the headphone jack was actually very good, and the sound actually had depth to it. So I enjoyed listening to a lot of music from the headphone jack. But again, as I've told you, the speaker is simply not that loud. Now moving to general performance, as I mentioned, it comes with the Snapdragon 625 chipset, and it has 4GB of RAM and 64GB of internal storage. The general performance of this device was actually very good, and I did not face any issues with that. As you can see, I have tons and tons of apps in the background, and I never had any issues of stutteriness. But again, it's a custom UI and you got to get used to it, and it has some weird buttons functionality. I'll talk about that later. But in terms of general performance, the general performance of this phone was very good, and I did not face any issues of lagginess on this phone. Now moving to gaming, I also did some gaming with this. I played the game Asphalt 8, and it ran Asphalt 8 for the most part fine, but I did notice some frame drops here and there. I also tried playing Modern Combat 5 on this one, and Modern Combat 5 played very well. So it's good in gaming, and the good thing was that even after extended gaming for about 15 minutes, the handset does not tend to overheat. Yes, it does get warm at the back, but it was not overheating. Now moving to the camera, Nubia was telling that this is a camera-centric smartphone, and the rear-facing camera is actually a 23 megapixel sensor that's made by Sony, and the front-facing camera is actually a 13 megapixel shooter. As you can see from the sample shots, if you take pictures in natural lighting conditions and well-lit conditions, the camera produces some very good pictures. But when we move to artificial lighting and low lighting conditions, I have to say the camera performance was simply not that great. Even in indoor lighting conditions, typically what you have, the camera performance was not that great in artificial lighting conditions. In fact, I also did a comparison with the Moto G5 Plus. I have already posted a separate video, so you can check out that video if you want to know more about the camera performance of this one. In terms of video, the audio pickup was actually very good, but in terms of video, the stabilization was simply not good on this Nubia. So if you plan to shoot a lot of videos, then I would not recommend you this one, because video stabilization was simply not there on this one, though it can record videos up to 4K. Now, another thing that I've noticed is that if you notice, this is the home button that we have, and we have two buttons on the side, and this home button actually also acts like a notification. We don't have another physical LED notification light, so whenever you get a notification, this home button will glow in red color. So that's how it shows you the notification. And I also got actually 3 different OTA updates during the last 3 weeks, and though it's still running on the Android version 6, it's not got the Android Nougat update, but it did get the Google security update. So it is getting the OTA updates, but again, as it's running a custom skin, I don't know when it will get the Android Nougat update. And I like the fact that this comes with 4 gigabytes of RAM and 64 gigabytes of internal storage. And yes, it can accept 2 SIMs, and instead of the second SIM, you can put a micro SD card. So in terms of storage, you should not have a issue. So these are the good things about this Nubia. Now let's move to the things that I actually did not like with this smartphone. And one of the first biggest gripes that I have with this smartphone is the speaker output. The speaker output is actually very low, and even the ringtone volumes are actually very low on this one. I have missed so many calls due to this phone. When it was in my pocket also, and I was outdoors, I could simply not hear the ringtone. So the ringtone and the speaker output is actually not good on this phone. I don't know why this is a problem. Come on, Nubia, you should have checked and put a, louder speaker. It just ruins the entire experience. Also, as I mentioned, in terms of camera performance, as Nubia is pushing it as a camera-centric phone, but in artificial lighting and low lighting conditions, the camera performance is simply not that great compared to the competition like the Moto G5 Plus. And also, as it is having that custom UI, then getting those new Android updates is sort of a question mark. And another thing is that as Nubia is not that popular in India, there is a big question mark in terms of the service centers throughout India. Yes, there will be service centers in major cities, but I can't vouch about how will be the situation if you live in smaller cities and towns. So you have to be aware of that also. And again, moving to the buttons, this is also very weirdly placed. It actually has 3 buttons. First to the home, obviously, and we have this button, side button. This is the menu button, and the right button acts as a back button and also as a multitasking button. So you can't customize that. So it does take a bit of time to get used to this weird button placement. So overall, I like this phone in terms of build quality. It feels very premium, but again, in terms of camera performance, I would say, especially in artificial lighting and low lighting conditions, the Moto G5 Plus does a lot better. So overall, a nice phone, as you can see from the pros and cons. But again, will you buy it is the big question mark. Again, I have already posted the camera comparison of the smartphone with the Moto G5 and also posted the unboxing video. Links for those videos will be there in the YouTube show notes. So guys, that's it for now for this review of the Nubia Z11 Mini S. If you found this review helpful, I'll appreciate if you can click the like button. And if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. This is Ranjit, and I hope to see you in my next video.